Well, add Julie Kelly to the list of right-wing influencers who, for no reason, have Donald Trump's ear like Laura Loomer, and because she tweeted that a prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia who's been there over 20 years, who's the head of the National Security Unit, who's prosecuting cases against terrorists that killed Americans, he needs to go because without any evidence, and it's completely untrue, she claims that Michael Ben Ari, who's been in that office and served multiple presidents, somehow is connected to the resistance that Lindsay Halligan, who's been a prosecutor for less than a week under Donald Trump, that she faced when she wanted to bring the Comey prosecution. No, when Donald Trump wanted to bring the Comey prosecution. And now Michael Ben Ari, Maya Song are now added to the long list of people on the chopping block who have been fired by the Department of Justice, making us all unsafe. Who is this Julie Kelly? Why does she get to dictate my national security? I'm Michael Popak, back on the air on this Friday here on Legal AF. Let's dive into it. Eastern District of Virginia is important. It's probably one of the top 3 prosecutors' offices in the country. It has the Pentagon and the CIA in its jurisdiction, and therefore there's a lot of terrorism cases that get prosecuted out of the Eastern District. You want 2 things in those types of cases. You want 3. You want an FBI that knows what it's doing. Well, we don't have that. You want career prosecutors who are skilled in the art of obtaining convictions in the area and the complicated area of national security, like Michael Ben Ari and his associate Maya Song, who have the expertise, the legacy knowledge, the talent, the body of work, and the track record to make America safe. He's gone. They fired him. They fired him so quickly his LinkedIn still says that he's there. And we are less secure as a nation as a result. You know what he's been doing in his spare time at the Department of Justice? Julie Kelly, we'll get to you next. Because with your quick tap on the keyboard, you got the man fired and you undermined our national security. You know what he's been doing? He's been prosecuting the bombing at the Kabul airport that killed 13 Americans and over 170 Afghanis as the lead prosecutor. The best prosecutors are being fired in America because they're not passing a blind loyalty test. And the sad thing about Michael Ben Ari is that he had no role at all, apparently, in the resistance against Lindsay Halligan and Donald Trump's attempt to get that ill-fated, soon-to-be dismissed indictment against James Comey up and running. There were prosecutors who put together a memo to deliver to Halligan upon her arrival, since she'd never been a prosecutor before. She's barely a lawyer, and certainly never won in federal court at the highest level, like the Eastern District of Virginia, where you have the rocket docket, really good, sophisticated judges, really smart juries, right? Who are going to quickly expose Lindsay Halligan for the fraud that she is. And so you want to have Lindsay, Michael Ben Ari by your side. And now that all of the major leadership, starting with your predecessor, Eric Siebert, hit the pavement, and even Troy Edwards, who was James Comey's son-in-law, who was the deputy director of national security under Michael Ben Ari, he's gone because he resigned the day of the indictment. But Michael Ben Ari wasn't involved with the resistance. Other prosecutors were. You idiot. And the fact that you took the bait so readily put out there without any support whatsoever, which is her entire life. Julie Kelly's, I saw her biography before she testified to Congress. It's a half a paragraph long. She lives with her cats and her husband in somewhere, I don't know where. She has no experience. She writes for an online journal about America. She's a Jan 6 denier. She reported from the jails of the Jan 6 and how they were being housed. They're not political prisoners. These were the worst people who were caught on video, some of it their own video, attacking law enforcement so brutally that federal judges were like, no, you're going to stay in. You don't satisfy the conditions of pretrial release. There's not much more to talk about with Julie Kelly, except she's famous for being famous in the MAGA world. Oh, I'm up on the stage at at CPAC, and I'm up on the stage. I wrote a book that nobody read, like a vanity book that I guess MAGA is selling on the Tucker Carlson show. Disloyal opposition, how the never Trump right tried to take down a president and failed. Like bullshit titles like that. Let me show you a clip so you know who I'm talking about. Let me show you a couple of clips back to back of this Julie Kelly, because she's the reason, along with Donald Trump and Pam Bondi, that we are less secure this morning and today than we were yesterday. Let's play the clips.
But unfortunately, what started in 2016 with Crossfire Hurricane has only accelerated. And when the DOJ decided and FBI to go after Donald Trump, his closest campaign associates, people like Carter Page, and everyone was like, who cares about Carter Page? Who cares about Paul Manafort? Who cares about Trump or his family? It was literally, 5 years later, less than 5, that they took that weaponization and they aimed it at half of the country because no one paid a price. Mm-hmm. No one still has paid a price for Russiagate. And so they took their cues, they've accelerated the national security state, the intelligence apparatus, and more importantly, law enforcement against Americans. We now have nearly 1,000
of a book which details a lot of the cases here. January 6, how Democrats used the Capitol protests to launch a war on terror against the political right. Julie, you are the authority on this, and it's great to have you with us today. So thank you.
Thanks, Bianca. Thanks for having me on.
First off, talk about your reaction. When did you hear that there would be the pardon and the commutation? Because you've followed this and you know how long these people have waited for the justice here.
So, just like everyone else did, I figured that this was coming and was waiting all day for it, and very pleased to see what the president did. I really want to emphasize what a courageous and compassionate move this was by President Trump. This is not an easy decision to make. He was getting political pressure, and we're still seeing this from Republican senators. I know you just spoke with Representative Stubbe, who gave a good answer there, but Republican senators, not so much. They are denouncing his pardon of so-called violent offenders. So this was a tough call, but the right call to make, and I really want to commend the president for doing it.
So she taps out. Michael Bernari used to work with Lisa Monaco, who is the number 2 under Merrick Garland, and therefore he needs to go. He's part of the resistance. Another Laura Loomer moron who just taps away without any investigative reporting, without any evidence, no email that she obtained, no leak, no I spoke to somebody off the record at the Department of Justice and I've learned that. No, it's just her idle prattle that has now not only ruined a person's career, who served multiple presidents. You have to. He's been in the office for 20 years. He's seen 3 presidents, but made us unsafe and in a major prosecutor's office. I mean, you want to screw around with the U.S. Attorney's Office? I mean, not that any one of them is not valuable, but I don't know, do something in Wyoming, do something in a red state. Don't F with the Eastern District of Virginia covering the Pentagon and the CIA and national security issues. Don't screw with the Southern District of New York, which handles major terrorism cases and financial crime cases. Don't F with the District of New Jersey, which also has public corruption and other cases. And as I've said before, the courts, the Senate, they're all rebelling against Donald Trump's picks for these offices. If Lindsay Halligan gets confirmed in the next 120 days or whatever it's going to be, if she's not already illegally appointed, I've already done a hot take about how she was not properly appointed because the only power that Pam Bondi would have had, she already exhausted. She only gets to name one. She named one. His name was Eric Seibert. And he left already. So you don't get to name another one. The district court judges of Eastern District of Virginia. So there's going to be a lawsuit brought by a criminal defendant in the Eastern District of Virginia, probably James Comey, who argues that Lindsay Halligan is illegally and unconstitutionally appointed. She will be the third one, joining the list of the Nevada U.S. attorney, who a judge just ruled was illegally and unconstitutionally appointed, and Alina Habba, which is up on appeal. Between Donald Trump not being able to get the Senate to approve his picks, federal judges rejecting his picks, and the impact on undermining the rule of law, we are where we are. Why are we listening to Julie Kelly? I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are thinking, why are we listening to Michael Popak? However, I'm not calling for the firing without evidence or any investigative scrap of information, any kind of expose. What expose did Julie Kelly ever come up with about Michael Ben-Ari, a person she couldn't even hold this is a sports phrase, she couldn't even hold his jockstrap. But we are less safe as a result. Public health, completely undermined by Donald Trump, putting that quack, non-doctor, non-scientist in charge of our public health and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. We're less safe because Pete Hegseth is the head of the cosplay Department of War. We're less safe because Tulsi Gabbard is the head of national intelligence. Those are two words that never went together. Two concepts, Tulsi Gabbard and intelligence. And we are less safe by a Department of Justice that is losing its best and its brightest, who are leaving voluntarily or involuntarily at some of the most major and most important offices in our country. I'll continue to follow it right here. I'm back on the air. Voice is mainly back. I'm Michael Popak. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button. Now look, we got a Substack to build together as well. Hit that button for Substack. For Legal AF. You get some amazing content there. I'm getting back on the microphone, including lives today, and become a paid member. People always ask, how can we really support Legal AF and become a card-carrying member? That's the way. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popak. I'm Michael Popak, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popak Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popak Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popak Firm today at 1-877-POPAK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopakfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popak Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.